Okay, so I just did another video and I was planning on talking about a certain thing but got completely redirected to a different topic. But I'm coming back now to try and talk about what I originally wanted to talk about, which was what kind of metaphor that came to me while I was cleaning the pool and swimming this morning. Um, yeah, so as I kind of began in the last video, um, these metaphors come to me, um, you know, whenever, wherever, because I really think that, like, if we're in the moment and we're, looking into the moment, we can really go as far as we want to, you know, learn from whatever is going on around us, whether it's an ant going about its business or a dragonfly flying by, or you know seeing what thoughts and feelings come up when you're cleaning the pool and swimming. So yeah, so I've started, like, I love the water and recently moved back in with my mum, and this pool. So I've started swimming multiple times a day and, you know, really been enjoying it. And so I've kind of had these feelings and thoughts come up, um, and I've been paying attention to it and thinking about these thoughts and that. It's just what I do, consciously aware all the time. Um, and so these thoughts have been coming up as I've been going through this process of seeing the pool every day. Like, not everyone has a pool there, and such a pretty pool. Um, so I've been, so since I moved in, I've been going through this process. I love swimming. I want to swim every day. You go through this process of, like, I guess, starting a new habit or wanting to do something. And so, all right, so I'll just talk through this process. You kind of know what I mean, right? Like, I want to do this. That's something that I really enjoy doing. It's so pretty and it's so enjoyable when you do it, and I want to do it. And so I'm aware of this process, and I'm aware of the delay tactics, or oh, it's too cold at the moment, I don't want to do it, or oh, I better do this first before I go and do that. When you want to bring in something for yourself that's enjoyable and healthy and you want to do, but it's outside your normal routine, and all this stuff that you have to kind of go through to actually start doing it. You know what I mean? So there's been this whole thing since I moved in, like a month ago, and I've been kind of watching myself go through this process of getting to the point of swimming every day. And like, it started out extremely slow, and you go through this process. Oh, like, and I get guilty because I didn't get in there. Like, you've got this beautiful pool out there, you want to do it, so why didn't you do it today? And like, all the stuff comes up, like, and this is the stuff that we deal with all the time, no matter what it is, whether it's going for a run, taking the dog for a walk, or keeping the house tidy, or like anything. Like, these are the things that inside of ourselves we're constantly processing and dealing with and rationalizing, and all that kind of thing. So with the swimming, so I got to this point, and I started slowly, irregularly, but then it got to a more regular thing. And the other day I was standing. I've kind of been watching myself because, like, I'm one of these people that it takes me like half an hour to get into the water because of the temperature. Like, I don't like cold water. I'm not one to just like dive in. And so normally, like, or if it's too cold, I'm not going to go in. Even if I really want to swim, blah, 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 blah. I would put it off if it's not an absolutely perfectly enjoyable experience type thing. Like, if it's a little bit cold, I just like with the temperature, I just never, you know. So, and the other day I was like standing on the edge. So I'd gotten to this point, and you know, there's several times where I've been swimming and I thoroughly enjoyed it to the point where I put the goggles on, I was doing laps, and it was really great. But each time I would get, I was noticing, like, the next time I'd get to, you know, the point of bathers on, goggles on, standing at the edge of the pool, I'd be like, oh God, it's going to be cold. Can't do it. And, you know, just that first dive in or just getting in, like I said, going from someone that normally gets in like foot, knee, hips, wait half an hour and then maybe get in. You know, I was building myself up to get, you know, like on the swimmer's block, doing some laps and I'm going to dive in. And I was getting to this point each time of standing at the edge, and I was feeling all this freaking fear and the hesitation of, I don't, you know, like just getting in, all that, the anxiety and the fear of just diving into the pool. And, you know, I was like feeling and watching myself standing at the edge of the pool for like freaking minutes, building myself up to make myself dive in. And I'm like, this is freaking ridiculous. Look at yourself. And, you know, at the same time, I'm like, this is such a freaking metaphor for, you know, doing anything new in life. How we have to really talk ourselves into something that really just freaking dive in. Yeah, and you know, and I've worked past that, and now I am getting to the edge and I'm just diving in, and I'm like, I'm aware of it, I'm watching myself, and I'm like, look at you go, you're doing it, you've pushed through the fear, because you know it's going to be really good when you dive in, you know. Practice makes perfect. It's yeah, it, you know what I mean? So it's been that kind of process, right? So with all that, being mindful about my swimming, and I have literally become like, it's brought up so many childlike memories, because, you know, when you're in the pool, and with me anyway, you know, as a young kid and growing up, like, I was never around a pool or the ocean or anything that much, but I've always been a water baby. I'm a water baby that hasn't had the water. I could go into that in a million different ways. But yeah, like I freaking, I'd be one of these kids that just, if the water temperature did not make me get out of the water, I just would have lived in the water. I want to breathe under the water. I would just want to, as soon as I get under the water, I feel like a mermaid, a dolphin, a seal. I want to play. I want to freaking move my body in a way that I physically can't move, but I try to move. You know, so all these childlike, free, water baby type feelings have come up since I've started swimming each day. And just, you know, seeing this water, I mean, look at the color. It's freaking, it calls to me constantly. So all these feelings and memories of, you know, memories of swimming as a kid and everything have come up. And so a couple of the ones that recently came up was like, I remember, you know, doing swimming lessons and never liking the competition aspect of the swimming lessons. I liked playing in the water, and I didn't like it when it became they can do it better than them, or we have to have a swimming race and that person is said to be the best because they can go fast, or yeah, like the other day, because I've started doing laps like breaststroke and you know, these things that we learn as kids, you know, you learn all the styles, freestyle, backstroke, everything during swimming lessons, and a lot of us just never do it again, never in our lives, you know. But I've started trying to do laps, so all these memories have come back. And I remember my teacher, like I only got to a certain level because like my frog kick was a little off. Like one of my legs didn't didn't do what the other one was doing, or something, you know. And that, I mean, shit, it's still inside of me. The fact that I couldn't get something right, so I couldn't pass. Like I wasn't good enough. Fuck, I could swim. But you know, this kind of stuff as kids, like it sticks to you. Anyway, so these kind of memories have come up, and I've been like looking at them as they're coming up, you know, processing it, feeling through it type thing. And yeah, so today I was actually thinking about relating swimming with your life in general, or relationships especially, because that's generally where my mind goes, is like comparisons and trying to understand how people relate to each other and why we really can't in general. Yeah, so I was thinking about, you know, how people want to experience swimming. So there's people that just want to play in the pool and enjoy it. There are, you know, and if those people get in the pool and just want to, you know, do their own thing, and if they want to, you know, just swim laps, or if they want to dive for things, see how far they can dive to the deep end, or try out the diving board, or if they want to try some flips, you know, they are experiencing swimming and the pool. And then there's other people. So I was putting together all these, I guess, the types of people and how they want to experience the pool. See if I can like explain it like decent. So I was thinking about like the coach, or you know, someone let's say from a kid perspective, right? Kids playing in the pool. Um, if there's, a kid wants to get in and they want to race. All right, let's do a race. And they always, as soon as they see a pool, get in the pool, they want to race everyone. And they want to win every time. So let's say, in a relationship, there's two people, two friends, two kids, and they're in the pool. And one is one of these kids that wants to make everything a competition, right? Like they want to be the best at everything, so they make a competition out of everything. So it's either a race to see how fast you can go, how far you can go underwater without, breathing, coming up for a breath, or how deep you can go. And they're always coming up with ways to make it a competition in order to see. Really, it's coming from a place that they come up with this competition in order to win. And then there's kids that just want to, do bombies and splash, or just play. There are the coaches that actually want to tell people that teach them how to swim. So there's different. So what I'm saying is, like, there's different mindsets of how people go about enjoying the pool. Enjoying. I say enjoying because, so I was thinking along the lines of, because we get in these relationships and it is almost like sometimes we're getting, metaphorically, we're getting into a relationship with the swimming teacher who approaches everything as training, as they're the teacher teaching you. So no matter what you're doing, they're telling you how to do it right. Like, you know what I mean? So they're coming from a place of constantly being the swimming teacher. And I was thinking, having a swimming teacher is great if you're asking for it, if you want to, learn how to swim. But in a relationship, from a relationship perspective, if you've got a swimming teacher as a play partner, that's that's not gonna be too enjoyable for that long. If you've constantly got a teacher telling you what to do. And then, from another perspective, you got to look at that, can the teacher ever just enjoy the pool and turn the teacher aspect off? Because I was like thinking, it's okay to be a teacher, like teachers are great out there, but in a relationship, you don't want a teacher telling you what to do all the time. You want a play partner. And I was thinking, the best way to learn, you can learn, what I was thinking today, you can learn through play with an equal partner. So then, you can think of, so you've got kids in there that just want to play, right? There's so there's this set of kids that wants to do, so let's say like the styles. So there's kids that actually want to learn all the different styles of swimming. And this is where for a certain period of time, that person that wants to learn all the different styles is going to enjoy having the teacher for a certain period of time. But at a certain point, that teaching, it's not play anymore. It's just being constantly told what to do when they just want to enjoy the different styles. Swimming. And if that teacher can't hop in and just enjoy swimming, it will be a problem. So then there's that child that just, person, whatever, that loves swimming and is just practicing and really love, practicing and doing all the styles and swimming, and, the right partner for them relationship wise and would be someone that actually is similar in the fact that they want to swim and do all the different styles, and they can actually challenge each other with the styles that they know, and maybe, extend it to different things. If they want to have a little race and are both happy to do that, and to challenge each other, that's all right. Or, if they just want to swim next to each other, seeing how many laps they can do, not as a competition, but because they're both enjoying swimming those lanes next to each other, because they are both loving the experience of swimming, and they both love sharing that experience of that love together. So, that works. And then there's the kids that like just want to play and soak up the water and look at the waves and the light play in the water, and seeing how deep they can dive, or having, jumping off, or getting out and having a sunbake, or, those kids are not gonna get on with the swimming teacher. Those kids are not going to get on with the ones that just are enjoying the experience of the laps, maybe for a little while. But you know what I'm kind of like getting at, like comparison wise, if if these kids that just wanted to do, let's say, bommies and dives and backflips, they might get on with a kid that wants to see how deep they can dive, or do, play with the water a little bit. But if they wanted to just watch the pretty ripples on the water, or get out on sunbake, that one that wants to do dives and bommies and all the time, that one is going to get a little bit bored with the one that wants to sunbake, or like just watch the splashes, or the bees fly by, or that type of thing. Like, see how sometimes we can enjoy the experience of each other for a certain period of time, but at a certain point there is a clash of enjoyment of experience. Yeah, so I was kind of like, putting that together with relationships today and the different types of people, because in my opinion there's a lot of coaches out there when it comes to relationships, and or or at the other end of that there is a lot of people just wanting to do bombies, and high dives or deep dives, and so you're getting to the ends of the spectrum of personality types in relationships, and the people trying to being attracted to certain types of people because we all want to experience certain experiences, but there's some people that want like a blend of experiences type thing, and or maybe everyone kind of needs the balance. Like I don't know if it's healthy to be a teacher constantly, especially when it comes to an equal balanced relationship, because that's not balanced, is it? Like the teacher student dynamic. I don't know, it might be a tricky one to go into, but you know what I mean. That could get toxic pretty freaking quick and very frustrating for both individuals. Yeah, because there's only so long you can play that out for. Unless, and this is what I don't know, maybe it's up to all of us to really have a think whether it's healthy or not, whether it's a balanced relationship or not, because so this thought loop kind of got me onto the thinking of if we grow up and our parents are like the teacher, the coach type parent that are constantly telling you how to do something, there's a certain way or response to that way of parenting. So I was thinking to relate it, I was thinking if you've read the Celestine Prophecy, I was thinking, because you know how there's the personality types, and if you've got this type of parent like intimidator or what are the other ones? There's aloof, interrogator, intimidator, poor me, victim. So there's this, like, if you've got like let's say an intimidator or an interrogator parent, it would make you either aloof, like one sort of behavior results in another. You either resort to play the opposite of that, or you try to it is like paper rock scissors, like which one beats which. So it's like it's this power dynamic, right? So if you've got let's say a swimming coach for a parent, we'll go with that for now. You're either going to become the best student, teacher's pet, and forever stay, well, not forever, but you will take on a student role within yourself, like wanting, you know, your love language, your relationship language would be, if I'm a student, I need a teacher. So you find someone to become, like, to take over that teacher role that your parent was, the coach role. And, you know, let's face it, it all starts out quite nice, but can turn bad pretty quick. So you could be a great teacher and teacher's pet, that's great. Or you can be teacher and delinquent fucking student, hating on the teacher, and the teacher freaking trying to freaking cane you every day. So, you know, there's the positive aspect and there's the negative aspect of that. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I know the negative aspect is freaking toxic as shit. I don't know if you can stay in the positive one for any length of time in a healthy way and grow, but it can feel good. And so, yeah, so I was like thinking about that a bit, and how, you know, it's just another way of thinking about the parent dynamics, and you end up being with someone the same as your parent type dynamic, and, you know, like the way they parent, coach, train, however you want to look at it, you know, that child takes on a certain response to how the parent coached, trained the child, parented, and you take that into your relationships. Yeah, and that gets me to the point where, because I was thinking about how much I'm just loving playing in the pool, doing whatever I want, and that if someone came and wanted to play with me in the pool and wanted to race or wanted to do bombies, that would really annoy me or put me off, because I just wanted to do what I wanted to do, which was, you know, a few laps. I wanted to then, you know, play and see how far underwater I could, you know, go without breathing. I wanted to, you know, dive and pick up the leaves underneath the water. I wanted to look at all the pretty lights, you know, reflection of the light underwater. I wanted to just, you know, float and stare up at the sky. I wanted to get out and sunbake, then I wanted to get back in, like... So that is me. And any stereotypical other version of, you know, a person that, you know, whether they were telling me that I was putting my goggles on wrong, or doing my breaststroke wrong, or frog kick wasn't quite right, or you know, that whole coach, trainer, control, telling me how to do it, that's not going to work for me. And someone wanting to do bombies and splash me, or I don't know, get me to do a race, or just so they can win, you know, for an ego boost. Like, none of that would work for me. So, like, me doing all the different things that I was really loved doing in the water was making me think of the link with relationships, and how relationships go, and how there's so much, like, this control drama type situation in relationships where people like doing things their own way. And it's okay if you want it if it kind of seems fun in the beginning, but if a kid has had enough of being told how to swim, or doing some bombies, if they want to like stop after a while, then they just stop, they walk away, and like no big deal, like go find someone that wants to do what you want to do. And there's so many relationships like these days that like we think that we, just because we said yeah in the beginning, that we have to continue to do that for the rest of our lives. There's a lot that we could learn from kids and the friendship dynamics. And I really wanted to, I've probably got a bit of time actually, I'll go on, because I've really wanted to do a talk about friendship and relationships. And there's so much to learn from kids and the way they interact. Like remember what it is like to be a kid and have friends. And I think we all forget the importance of friendship and what friendship is. Friendship is the foundation for like any relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all know what it means to be a good friend. And yet we seem to forget that when it comes to any other relationship. Whether it be a family relationship, like brother, sister, parent, daughter, a son, like family dynamics, or partnership, romantic. Whereas it should be at the top of our minds, even with animals, right? Any relationship with ourselves, like any relationship, friendship, everyone knows what being a good friend is, right? It's, if you like a person, you like them no matter what, like you like them for them. So if you love someone, shouldn't you like them for them no matter what? Because how can you love someone and not like them for them? Do you know what I mean? Because there's no way you would have like a best friend or a close friend and betray them, lie to them, judge them, mistreat them, abuse them, like without thinking that you could, that it's not right, that you would lose them, that like that's not being a good friend. You know what I mean? So, I'm for a long time I've been consciously monitoring, analyzing relationships and how people get on with each other and all that. And especially in my last relationship, this whole importance of friendship, it was a really big thing in it, because I got to the point of wanting and realizing that I was working towards having that, or trying to understand what a healthy relationship was. And it was this whole always understanding and coming, if I was ever triggered, as we so often are in a romantic relationship, if I got to the point of that, because I was healing the anxious attachment, codependent stuff that I had. I was actively trying to heal that while going about this new relationship, my last relationship. And the idea of, always coming back to the point of, how would a best friend handle this? Because I considered him my best friend. Like that's how much I loved him. And that's what I thought that, a healthy relationship, especially romantic, has got to come from a place of, this is my best friend. I want what's best for them. And, obviously not to a point of being stepped on, but, like the dynamic has to be of a best friend nature, that of understanding and consideration and wanting what's best for each other, but also understanding and what's the word, like an acceptance of each other, but also like not limiting yourself or stopping yourself, like being authentic and honest with what you want and what you need, but in a respectful, honest, open way, like like best friends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is what I want. Discussing and caring and talking, and if you get triggered or jealous, or you talk through it, but very, very honest. Because if someone, like, for example, if you've got a best friend and they meet someone that they really connect with, and they make another friendship, like, who are you to tell them that they can't have another friend? If it's really important and honest, and like a beautiful connection that's adding to their life, like, it is very confronting. Like, for example, there's the whole idea of an open relationship, which we were exploring and learning about. So this is why this came up, and this is how, like, I dealt with the idea of that experience, because I looked at it as, never having done it or explored that kind of multiple partner thing before. I thought of it as, if you can do that, you're being truly authentic and caring unconditionally for each other, and wanting each other to be free to be them, but also choosing each other, caring for each other enough to allow the person to be their true authentic self. So that's where I came at it from. And that level of authenticity, trust, love, like unconditional acceptance and love type thing, I came down to the best friend aspect every time. And like, you want what's best for your best friend. And if they say that they need to go away for a year to experience this sort of thing, then you'd be, yeah, sad. But there's no way you would try and stop them from doing something that they feel is best for them. And this, I feel, is the basis of what a true healthy relationship is. And, obviously there's, levels to this because, people are at different stages of their journey and understanding self and all this. So there's a lot of us that would really want to do something because they think it's right for them, or they need to do it or whatever, and the other person would be like, kind of know where that's going to go, or I don't know, I'm not kind of okay with that. But like, none of us have got the right to control anyone else or to tell anyone else what they should or shouldn't do. Like, if someone wants to do something because they think it's and they need it for their growth or an experience or whatever, that is their journey. And I was just kind of thinking, like, if we all kind of could try and remember that if we come from a friendship perspective, it's that much easier to cope with an understanding of someone that you love and care deeply for choosing a different path than what you were hoping for, or the different one that you're going down. Like, and if that person is trying to ask you to go down that path with them, if you don't feel that that's your path, then you've got to say, nah, mate. You go have fun. You go have fun. Like, go do some bommies. I'm just going to do some laps. That type of thing. But, if you ever want to come back and have a sunbake with me, or, do some laps with me, you know where I am. Like, have fun doing that. But that I don't really feel like doing that right now. But I can totally see how, you want to try that out, or, yeah. And so I was putting all that together today, because there's so many people that get into these patterns in relationships, romantic relationships especially, where they get into these roles. I'm going to talk about it because it keeps popping in. How, like, at work, where they say, you come to work, like, leave the home emotional drama at the door. When you get to work, you clock in and you're on the job. And the same goes, like, when you get home, don't bring your work home with you. This is the kind of thing that people do as well in relationships. For example, they take these roles throughout their life. Like, if they're a teacher, for example, and then they come home and start teaching their partner or, you know, their kids constantly. You know, if they're not aware that they're doing it, or, you know, on the opposite end of that, if you've got the, you know, teacher's pet or the delinquent child, taking that into their work environment and home environment. And, you know, are we forgetting how to play nicely together in the playground? There is literally so much we can learn from kids and how to play nicely together. Live and let live. If you don't want to play that game with that person, like that kid, go play somewhere that you want to play. If that kid starts throwing the sandballs at you, then that's that kid's problem. Then you know that you really shouldn't go back and play with that kid again. Or, you know what I mean? Or if the kid's gonna cry every time you say that you don't want to play with them, like, what are you meant? Are you meant to? Are you meant to change who you are and what you want for someone else? Are you meant to be someone else? Are you meant to be someone's toy, like that they can say that that's what, you know, like literally you become a piece of playground equipment, like a doll or something that they say, this is how we're playing, like a Barbie doll, this is what we're doing today. Or yeah, you know what I mean? My dog's getting windy. Yeah, so friendship. Have a think about, like, what kind of friend are you being? There is so much triggering there, but I really think that bringing the core foundation of any relationship, thinking about what the foundation of friendship is, which is unconditional acceptance of free choice. I am, you know, I choose to be your friend because I like you and I respect your experience, and I expect the same of you. And free choice to end that friendship if it doesn't become friendly, or if that friendship's not working for you anymore. You know, if you've grown out of the friendship. Yeah. So yeah, that was the that was the initial kind of thing that I was getting to in the last message about swimming, kids, types of types of play in the pool, how we're all different, how we all want different things, and that, you know, we should be all allowed to play in the way we want to play. It is, you know, free choice to play how we want to play and to play with who we want to play with and how we want to play with them. Live and let live, be kind to one another, and play nicely. Yes.